Lacey and Layla Art. I'm Layla.
I'm Lacey.
We've been painting together for over 10 years now.
Yeah.
We met in Edmonton, going to Grand McEwen College and art school, and our friendship just blossomed from there. We traveled the world together, moved to Montreal together to finish our bachelor's degree in fine art, and then that's when we started getting interested into street art.
Street art really is the people's gallery. It's a free gallery that's open, accessible for all, so it really gives us an opportunity to tell a story from the people to the people. Primarily, we work with portraiture. We like to do a lot of, obviously, very large-scale portrait realism because we believe that the face tells such a strong story. So you're really trying to capture that entire aura that you get from somebody in a singular moment. So I think that's why we try to work with a lot of interesting people or people that have interesting backgrounds or pasts. And with a lot of our work, we try and represent different communities, so maybe different marginalized communities or people on the fringes or sometimes people who don't have a voice.
Art is well received in all these drastically different places, so we were able to have an impact in different communities, and we found that to be super rewarding and really exciting.
The drawings are a mix of the 3 different schools, so the 2 from the area as well as the children from the Lloyd S. King Elementary School, which ties to the history of this land being unceded territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. There is a very important indigenous burial site here for the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. So they were actually the first school that we approached. We reached out to the chief of their land and approached them with this idea, and they loved the idea. And the one thing that the chief Stacey Laforme really pushed forward is that there wanted to be acknowledgement of that because respect for the ancestors was the biggest thing for them and for their community. And so when we talked about this idea of having the children, they really liked that because it was sort of a generational draw to that specific history. The reason this idea for the mural came about was just, again, to celebrate on a large scale something that's kind of not celebrated often with children, which is their unbridled creativity.
I guess it's more of like a collaboration with kids where they would draw, we got to take their photographs, and we did like a little workshop where we got to interact with the kids and meet them all. Then we took a lot of their drawings that had resulted from that workshop and blew them up into large scale, larger than life, and used like dramatic fun colors, very childlike. We wanted a lot of like whimsy and joy to be a part of the mural, just like childhood and creativity. We wanted to sort of display that in our work.
And it's amazing that when the drawings come to life, you know, you can't tell which child has which background. It really is this beautiful amalgamation of all these colorful, joyous drawings.
We hope it's clear that it is about kids and creativity. That's why we titled it Color Outside the Lines. We feel like it's just an opportunity to appreciate creativity just as a form.
What I really hope is that children will look at this and feel valued. I really want them to feel that, you know, they can have a say and they can have a voice because it is one of the voices that is most hindered. And there's a lot of wisdom and a lot of spark and a lot of wonderful things that come from kids, and I just want them to feel like they are as deserving and they can have as big as an impact as any adult out there.
Yeah, they're seen and appreciated.
Thank you.